And Stompy actually
007.
going down.
Let's see here. He's just kind of sneaking up here. This is the
Lost
tension
it.
right now. He's getting closer and closer to this player here. He doesn't get the sound cue, and oh my gosh.
Ding ding!
60, 60, 60.
Yes.
What are the odds that he's able to eliminate this player before he can react and nobody else in the lobby does anything? Well, we're about to find out. Let's go. Colazo, roll the dice. He rolls them, they come up, no problem, 7 every time. Interesting decision, but I think he realized he didn't have enough to safely waterfall down, so had to find a way. And we all know Zexro, rather than like to play in the back, he likes to push into zone and just go for broke. Colazo and Ronbon go down, does not have a launch pad, needs to find his way back into zone.
And still so much pressure in for Benji, but he survives, he makes it out, and he moves forward.
Spicy also picking up an elim. BUGHA getting one on to Zeno. Will go down, and BUGHA continuing to try and take some picks towards the storm. Knows this player is healing.
Hey, Fortnite Moments fans! Want more V-Buck giveaways? Make sure to use code BEAST in the item shop. And we'll continue to give out redemption codes just like this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out.
Now looking forward though, we're looking at positioning, we're looking to see who has the best, and one of the best players in the game right now, sitting on 128 points, is Mr. Savage, and in the best position I'd say for now, as we're center of 3rd zone, which means that he will 100% get 4th zone. That's the way the zone geometry works, is that it will fit you right on the corner no matter where it goes. But obviously you also have the potential of getting it right down the center, which is the kind of unfortunate circumstance, but that rarely happens. So Mr. Savage looking poised to have a solid position moving in towards this end game. He does have that heavy sniper, and that's what I'm feeling something might happen as people start to rotate. He has a lot of vision on players ahead of him. And there's one. It is going to be a finish. It's Fanta. And that's instant for him to go onto this loot. This is something that happens when you're actually on the edge of zone. You get an opportunity to catch the people who start to move right ahead of you. Just trying to see, is there anybody behind me? Can I be falling to exactly what I just got onto Fanta? This is a big question. Now he has to start building. He's going to build right over top of 2 players. Just in the zone, barely though, and I would have liked to see him get maybe 1 more box in, because this is what's going to happen.
Oh no.
Everybody will see you right on the edge and start to pressure you. Thankfully, he still has a lot of time to work with before he actually has to box up in there.
And it's all these players who've been hungry for so long, no eliminations, just looking for the final tag on a player like Safik all the way towards the back. Although those 2 heavy sniper shots let about 500 mats be used by multiple people in total, he still finds a way to land another. That'll slow things down as well for the whole lobby to look at exactly who to shoot. Suddenly, no more shots being thrown out. People realize who they're dealing with.
That's what he needed to do. He needed to get that heavy snipe shot to put down at least one of the oncoming pressure, fire. One of those, by the way, is Mr. Savage, who has the position in zone for a while. But what I don't like out of Safik is how far back he moved. Because of that, that gives more time for these guys to pressure it. He does have now the opportunity to fall back and get towards a different side, but man, he's so far in the open. I think if he wants to get in, he's going to have to pull out another heavy snipe miracle. And it's not going to happen. He's down and out.
You're correct. I mean, off that pressure, the decision has to be choose left or right. You can't keep walking on that same plane. Not only does it allow pressure to keep getting divvied onto you, you saw how many more boxes opened up, and then look back at Safik when he finally chose to move towards that right side. Baffle, though, was one all the way over towards the left. Now that zone pulls all the way down to the bottom left, where only 3 people get to have the reward for their positioning. Everyone else will have to move. And with 39 people left alive, that'll cause a lot of potential for more shots to land.
Not many launches so far, at least that I'm hearing. Especially, I think, because the congestion is all kind of on the side and not necessarily across from the zone. So players decide that they can go in. Nice shots from Baffo. So they continue to try to pressure. I don't know if he can recognize who that player was. He's going to get in a box. I don't know if this is him, though. I think it must be, based on the fact He's instantly trying to go up and escape away from Bafo. But he gets the cone in, gets the floor, and knocks him down. And it's Proxy, who we saw earlier with that legendary burst AR. No, it was just an epic. And then Bafo continues. He's not in zone yet, by the way, when he took that fight. But he is now. And look at the players he's basing up right on top of Stompy, Hen, 4ZR. It just gets harder from here. Fremont is nearby. Cafo, who we saw. Coolest Carrot, who for sure has that Midas drum gun in tow. Here's Verox. One of the most, I think, underrated players in EU, but I think that may be kind of well stated because Verox, while he has had pop-off performances in cash cups, maybe in one of the semis or open stages of FNCSs, not quite reaching those first places or even close to top 5 in when it actually matters in the grand finals. One of the great things about Verox is his aim. He consistently will hit, like Benjyfishy, 200 pump shots to the face when it matters the most, when he needs to, in clutch situations. But you'll see him consistently down on low ground doing just that and having to rely on it so much because it's siphon after siphon that you need to use to survive down there.
The siphon's all about that low ground. When it comes to height, it's about tracking which players have what, how much pressure there is available, and who's going to rotate first. Benji being in the same position, I think after almost every single zone, knows Thomas was above him. Looks like he didn't actually have a launch pad to use, so tracks someone else to be able to move off of. But now as this zone finally starts to move, Storm Surge is nothing he has to worry about. It's about actually getting towards that zone, opting not to actually take a big pot, but then move quickly afterwards, canceling it to get position and get distance on not only the competition, but cutting that distance as well to get towards that next zone. This entire right side of this game is suddenly dead. No players kind of in front of him at all, and he's pushing everyone on the left who can contest him all the way back with that minigun. Finally moves all the way in through the trees, through that low ground grass. A lot of people launch padding in and above him as well, but he's so secluded he won't actually get damaged, and he's the first person to actually make this move. So a good position for Benji, finding a way to get in, but at the cost, the big cost of a lot of materials.
And something you could already see him looking, hunting for an impact elimination right now because he needed some materials. He needed to find something. He's going to have to take this fight. He wants these materials, but finally the zone pushes him away. It does not come back. You see him hunting. He looks up, looks down. It's Coolest Carrot. He gets him out. The drum gun now possibly in Benji's hands. No, he opts to go forward. He got the materials. That was what he wanted most of all. And still so much pressure in for Benji, but he survives. He makes it out and he moves forward.
And still not in a position of any type of control, but he looks so fluid with everything that he wants to do. Nothing's rattling this man from any layer, from any position whatsoever, but at the end of the day, it'll be HP and a surprise from Matrix getting him down. Right now, Alex going to be all the way at the top of the entire server. CRR trying to just barely make it in, almost taking some fall damage. Has a flopper to heal back up. Verox, the low ground warrior we see time and time again, will dodge a no-scope. At the same time, take out Umi, who looks like does not know how to operate when things are all the way down to the line. Tries to get that shot off, possibly out of ammo everywhere. Tried his best, but Verox picks him up.
He's going to be able to get that shield potion off just in time now in that 10th place, and he finds another one. This is what I'm talking about. Low ground Verox with the aim on is something to behold, and he's going to continue down below. Piece control is there. He blocks the launch pad, but now down to 3 builds because of that one sequence of piece control, and he is going to have to try to get in. A fake shield from Mr. Savage, but Verox reads it. He realizes that it's a possibility of making the edit, and Verox puts him down in quick fashion. That was disgusting.
And now this will be a land of surprises as the entire zone moves back on pre-built builds all the way around. It'll just be people dropping down back and forth. You have to hit the hardest shots you can. Bappo responds with the second one of his game, but we've seen him come into so many different situations so far, narrowly escaped with his life. Now suddenly behind another pyramid, this player, unknown of his intentions, misses the shotgun, but then switches over to the AR to take fusion out of the competition. Finally, just 5 players left over towards this endgame. All weapons loaded. The RPGs, although so many players have them, not used due to the congestion, but right now High Ground might receive the first of this 8th, 9th zone. Drops down, doesn't actually give Baffle an opportunity. He has to back all the way up, a lot of materials to go for the height retake. He does, not with a little bit of pressure first though, and that player, Alex, can survive in the zone now. A duel of RPGs, top down, from low to height. Who will be the victor here? Baffle drops down, catching himself at the last possible moment. Still trying to survive. 4 builds left in the 180. Virox at low ground, doesn't see it coming. Baffle, 5 eliminations, victory royale.
The question is, can he continue doing so? Took a little bit of a break because of a wrist injury. Been back and been performing pretty well, but now in a box.
Hey Fortnite Moments fans, do you want to win a free and exclusive Rogue Spider Night skin? If so, make sure you complete these 3 easy steps to own this rare skin yourself. First, simply leave a like on the video. Then, make sure you're subscribed to Fortnite Moments with post notifications turned on. And lastly, comment your epic ID and a reason why you should win this exclusive skin. The prize winners will be announced soon, so make sure to enter while you still can. Enjoy the rest of the video.
Yes, this fall skirmish champion chilling in the box, trying to disengage a little bit, let this other player know, hey man, I'm not really looking to battle, but if you're down, I am ready to fight. Of course, he was a part of that trio cast champion week of Young Cat and Malkwood as well. So Zexro is going to try to make himself, as you said, come back from injury, which is, that's a big factor there. I mean, I remember that time where out in TwitchCon where Shroud took a bad fall, and everyone was really concerned about him falling on his shoulder. So Zexro gonna do his best right here, and I like it, man. The box play is such a good one, especially if he gets himself in a really sticky situation as Zate going back in here, trying to work on Doxy, and he gets a really nice tag here, and he's gonna try to go for the retake, and this is the opportunity. It all comes down to fundamentals when it comes to box fighting. You try to get it in there, uses Harpoon, gonna come from Believe, and he almost ate the HP, but he gets the job done with 13 HP, and he's rolling right now with Mr. Consistency.
Well done from Zate, continuing to keep that rolling. Just able to push in towards the edge of the zone as Circle 3 is closing in.
Circle 3 is closing in, and it looks like Zate with 13 points. It's a great start. We talked about game 1 being the tone setter, Sundown, making sure that you are going to set yourself up, but it doesn't matter. You could still have a bad game like Benji did. He was able to recover from that game 1 getting hit by Styler there. But now, as you're taking a look at the lobby, they are now assessing how they're going to deal with this body of water. Nate Hill still in it. You have Dow Boy still in it. BUGHA, the World Cup champion, still in it. Looking for an opportunity to show that he is still on top of the mountain. Of course, BUGHA is one of those players, when you watch him go to work, and it doesn't matter for his Instagram and all those kinds of things, you know BUGHA is still one of the best.
Been performing kind of on and off, swapping duo partners around, but definitely knows he prefers solos, particularly in the stack game environment when he's able to get rolling. It'll be interesting to see if we can see a return to form from him here. As we're on board with Rogue Shark, another player qualified for the World Cup, has been playing very well as of late, particularly in duos, but not having bad solo performances as well, and looking to find some shots here, and also in control of that drum gun, which as the circle gets tighter and tighter, and you have less of a need for that first shot accuracy, and you're just able to kind of start spraying bullets towards people, that's what the drum gun does best. And right now, Lord NM going down there as he gets chosen from multiple sides, and Rogue Shark being the benefactor.
Big benefactor right there, and we're still taking a look at it. There is the water. You could still sort of build on the edges of this water, but it's still very tough for them to figure out how they're going to navigate this. This zone could go into the dangerous of being all water, and you do hear the storm surge right there, Sundown. So now you're expecting the lobby to kind of wake up. They're going to have to get below the threshold as Ravis Scott picks up an elim in the feed, and we're on board here with Spark with at least one elim in his back pocket, sitting with 5 points here. Trying to get some of the, he is well above this damage threshold here for Storm Surge, so he's now looking for an opportunity to take advantage of people being aggressive and maybe catch someone on this rotation here, Sundown.
But pretty much everyone has already squeezed into the edge of the zone. Look in the bottom right-hand corner. You can see what the Storm Surge threshold is, and also how many players need to make their way in as Class does get picked up there by Spark. I mean, pretty much everyone's going to be able to squeeze right on the edge of the zone. Let's take a look at who's in the lobby. You got Nate Hill, Weigel, Rigid, Severe, Slade hopping on board. Back again with Rogue Shark, who's going to be above. We know Zate's hanging around there as well. Plenty of people there, and moving zones over water. It's going to get weird really, really, really quickly.
Absolutely. We saw this in the FNCS duos on the North American West side. Is essentially so many people went down to some crazy circles where Monster and I were kind of casting right now, but it is Shark looking for and he gets some nice materials right there, and he has to kind of pay a little bit. So no matter all those things that he kind of scavenged there, he has to use some of his hard mats, and Zexor does get Jake in the feed. And now it's Shark with the power of the Midas drum gun. Let's see if he's able to pop off, as that we saw in the open qualifiers, the power of it, as Rhino gets an Elan right there. But I'm expecting Shark to we kind of see this from Kanata as well in his solo runs, where he kind of looks around for just abandoned loot and does his best, and he catches someone with the window open, and there goes White Rhino as Shark gets a big thing and fiends on that loot right there, Sundown.
Yeah, so that's huge. Rogue Shark picking up. Now he has the cash of the 2 supplies from 2 players. Also, Fash was the World Cup qualified player coming out of Canada who dropped over there, has been one of the most consistent solo players, but going down before the second threshold, as we now see everybody getting the +2. Storm Surge ticking off as we have our top 50 players just inside Circle 5. So now we're transitioning kind of into that late game full on, and some very familiar names up in that left-hand corner as well on board with BUGHA. Spicy also picking up an Elim. BUGHA getting one onto Xeno, who will go down, and BUGHA continuing to try and take some picks towards the Storm. Knows this player is healing up. Wants to try and pick an elimination here, but you can see him being patient. Trying to use the first shot accuracy, but almost gets run past there. Gets a nice ramp inside, but has to be careful.
That was a very scary situation, Sundown, as he was getting caught tunneling in on that player in the Storm. Now BUGHA's going to take this opportunity to use the big pots, because later on he will not be able to. And the first rotating circle goes out. It is zone circle 6 here, and it's going to pull all the way back down. I think that's going to go north, actually. So let's see how the rest of the lobby deals with it. But the water is almost not a factor here, Sundown, because all the competitors essentially build a nice, their own little terrain there. So actually this is going to go more south here, Lazy Lake, and it's going to get into where we saw this earlier in the broadcast, and I believe during the qualifier, Sundown, I think you were casting where it goes towards the bridge. I think that was a kind of insane finish, so hopefully maybe we get that repeat here as we're on board here with Wanban.
43 players remaining. Again, remember, it's the every 10 players, boom, everyone gets a point. You'll see that now as Spicy goes down. Spark picking up another one as Ronbon is continuing to just rotate around the outside. Hits an 80 tag and trying to push forward. Finds another one. Code used. Nah, I'm okay. I'll use somebody else's since you're going down there. And another big pickup from Ronbon under BQ Painful. Also going to dip back into the Storm. Get a little bit of a refresher. Only at the cost of about 30 health, so if he needs to survive by 1 AR shot, that'll be the difference. However, his rotation's going fine as we see Zexro's at the front of it. Zate is there as well. We also have FaZe Tilt on the front of it. Macwood in the lobby. This is a who's who of classic NA East veterans as Tilt pushes through the box. FaZe is in, not quite finding anyone there. As we swap over to Zexro, who is still sitting on that box.
Sitting in box, and I have a big play. It will be a factor, Sundown. It has to be. And no one will hold on to this box as long as possible, knowing that they're not going to use it. I mean, the opportunities to pick up so many different things, no doubt he will drop it for a Grappler, but, I mean, the play styles, and that's what I like about solos, it's your own play style that you could kind of work a way around. I mean, duos and trios, you kind of have to find that synergy, but Zexro opting to keep the cardboard box, and I'm accepting a big play from it in the future, but now he does trying to go for some kind of a layer control here near height. And now he's just sitting here with some nice hard matchup with metal. Still only has about 40 builds. There's one person, and they're raining down terror with that rocket launcher, Sundown.
Yeah, and we also almost have our top 15. We have it now as Zexro and Tilt both pick up Elam's. Canada goes down but hits the top 15. Zate got picked up by Jamper outside the top 20, so that's actually kind of a rough game for Zate not to finish it out. But look at the zone. You talked about the bridge zone. Look at the disparity in the verticality. Zexro all the way up top, but we know there's so many players down at the bottom, including Nate Hill and Rogue Shark, as Nico, I will not lose, actually picks up Nate Hill, and we close in on the top 10. After that, every single placement is more and more points, and you want to get into that top 5 if you're playing ideally. Well, I mean, ideally you want to win. As we see, Nico, Macwood, Jamper on bottom, mid tarp, Dowboys, Stony, Aleu, Rogue Shark, Pulsefishy, and then Zexro looking down on all of them. It's King Zexro's lobby to win.
It's a scary sight to see how high you go. I hope anyone out there at home doesn't have vertigo, because look at down below. It's afraid of heights as there's a pad. I'm sorry I had to bring it up, dude. I kind of get in the pit of my stomach. Is bringing it up right here as Zexro is sitting on top of it. He gets a quick flick right there with a big pump. Oh my goodness, but he has to give it up there, and he's trying to take the short path, but there's a little ramp in the way. I think he got scared off the height there, Sundown. It kind of came out of nowhere.
Interesting decision, but I think he realized he didn't have enough to safely waterfall down, so had to find a way. And we all know Zexro, rather than like to play in the back, he likes to push into zone and just go for broke. Colazo and Ronbon go down. Does not have a launch pad, needs to find his way back into zone. Nice, tight little building around the corner, making sure he's not quite 90ing back and forth, so using the tight angles. 120, Zexro holding forward with a pump. Name a more iconic duo, but Alige El Nino says no mas para ti, senor. All done today, and he's trying to close it out from the low ground. One player above him is Dowboys with the rocket launcher, but he eats some fall damage and eats his own rocket, and Nino says thank you very much, I will steal that game away. 5 eliminations and the victory. Royale pushing him up to 53 points.